Kids who are spanked have more problems. They have more anxiety. They have more opposition. There's better technology around, think firm and kind. Mm-hmm. And when you feel like you want to hit them, go, there's going to be a consequence. I'll let you know, and walk away if you can. Because spanking is because you're upset. Yeah. There's a better way. I collect penguins, and I wrote a book about penguins called The Most Important Thing in Life I Learned from a Penguin. My oldest, I adopted. He was hard for me. He was argumentative, oppositional, and I'm a child psychiatry fellow, which means I'm in my training to learn how to be a child psychiatrist, and I'm telling my supervisor. And she's the one that said, you need to spend more time with him. And I took him to a place called Sea Life Park in Hawaii. Have you guys been to Hawaii?
We used to live there, actually.
So, Sea Life Park's on Oahu. It's really cool. It's in the movie 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. That's part of the movie. Anyways, we went to Sea Life Park that weekend because I'm going to spend more time with him. We went to the whale show, and that was fun, and the dolphin show, which was awesome, and the sea land show, which was funny. And then we went to the penguin show, and the penguin's name was Fat Freddy. And this whole thing changed my life. This little fat Humboldt penguin climbs a diving board, the ladder of the diving board, goes to the end of the board, bounces, and then jumps in the water. I'm like, whoa. And he gets out of the water, he bowls with his nose, counts with his flipper, jumps through a hoop of fire. And I have my arm around my son, and I'm like, okay, I'm a good dad. And then the trainer asked Freddie to go get something, and Freddie went and got it, and he brought it right back. And time stood still for me because I'm like, I asked this kid to get something for me, and he wants to have a discussion. And then he doesn't want to do it. And I knew my son was smarter than the penguin. And I realized the problem was me. And I went to the trainer afterwards. And I said, how'd you get Freddie to do all these really cool things? And she looked at my son, and then she looked at me, and she said, unlike parents, whenever Freddie does anything like what I want him to do, I notice him. I give him a hug, and I give him a fish.
That's so good.
And the light went on in my head that even though my son didn't like raw fish, that whenever he did what I wanted him to do, I paid no attention to him because I was sort of like my dad.
That's so good.
So I collect penguins to remind myself, notice the good things about my life. And then a couple of weeks later, I was at Marine World up in Northern California, and I went to the killer whale show. And one of the killer whales just did everything the trainer wanted, and it was awesome. The other one wasn't doing anything. And so she stopped the show early, and she said, I'll be here to answer questions. Like, write down. I'm like, so the whale's having a bad day. Yeah, whales have bad days, just like people have bad days. I said, well, what would the whale do if you got a big stick and beat him when he had a bad day? And she looked at me like I was the dumbest person on the planet. And she said the whale would never perform for me again because the whale wouldn't trust me. It's not a good idea to beat children. Because ultimately what you want is trust. What you want is bond. Because if you bond with them, they'll choose your values.